All right. Hey everyone. Okay, part 3 here, and where we are at, and let's go back into paint.net, and all we've done here is kind of resized a background to use as the background of our avatar. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to talk about probably one of the most important concepts that if you kind of understand where we're going with, you'll understand what you can do and what is actually possible, even on your first avatar. So, what we are going to talk about here is a concept called layers, and in order to do that, I'm actually going to start a new image here, and I don't want you guys to go ahead and do this. I just want you to kind of understand where we're going with this feature here. We've actually already played with layers a bit, and we'll understand that here in a moment. So we're creating a new document. Now, if we look at paint.net, we actually have both our icons here in the upper right. The white one is the one we just started. The other one is the background that we pasted in there, so let's just leave it at that. Now, what layers are is a way for us to organize the data, the parts of our image, and affect them in different ways, move them around, etc. Some people kind of try and give an onion skin allegory to this. The whole onion skin thing, I'm afraid, doesn't mean a lot to us anymore. It's not something that as we're kind of getting older, we see a whole lot of. So let's go ahead and just demo this. What I have here is our blank document. Down in the lower lower right-hand corner, we have our layers palette. And if I click on this little icon in the very lower left of the layers palette, it asks me if I want to make a new layer. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, I've created a new layer here that's called layer 2. Alright, and what we're going to do with layer 2 is all I'm going to do is grab one of my paintbrush tools here in paint.net. I'm going to make it a fairly big brush just to kind of show you guys what we're doing here, and I'm going to make it red. I'm just going to make kind of a reddish circle. Okay, I wouldn't call that the best circle in the world. Then I'm going to create a new layer, and with layer 3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my foreground color for blue, and I'm just going to go ahead and make kind of a blue square, and I will attempt to fill this in as quickly as possible. Okay, and then we're going to make one more new layer, and that new layer is going to actually be our yellow triangle. Okay. Now, if you've been watching carefully, you see that I just painted over the edge of the blue square. But since I did it on a new layer, I didn't actually paint over that part of the new of the blue square. If I grab my move tool at this point and move my yellow triangle around, because it's actually on a new layer, what I get is the fact that I can actually move these items independently of each other, and all I really need to do is go down to my layer palette and say, this is the layer that I'm using now, grab my move tool, and then I can move my square independently of my triangle, independently of my circle. Oops. So, again, let's be pretty clear about what we're doing here. Now, the next thing that we can do with this technology that we have in front of us, other than just moving things around, and you can imagine the moving things on its own becomes important as we go ahead and do things like add text to things. Oops, that was my save button. I didn't mean to do that. So the next thing that we can do is we can say grab our triangle, which is in front of the square, and then reorder these layers just by dragging them. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, paint.net doesn't let us drag them, but we can go ahead and change their order if we like. We've got little up and down arrows here, and if I want to move the blue in front of the yellow, I'm just going to change the order in which they are. Okay. Then I can move that background around. If I believe that the red has had its day and wants to be on top, we're going to move the red layer to the very top, and then as I say, we can move these things around independently of each other. So that is our big win here in terms of layers. When you are using Paint.net, we have the ability to kind of expand this layer palette. I'm going to go ahead that you recommend you go ahead and do this. Now, the other thing to keep in mind about Paint.net is right beside every layer icon, we have the ability to check and uncheck. If we uncheck our layer, what we have is the ability to make sure we don't see it anymore, and that can become useful in a few different scenarios as well. Some of the other options we have down here along the bottom are our properties, and if we click on our properties, right now we are clicked on the blue layer, we have our opacity value of 0 to 255. If we lower this opacity value, we can actually just change how it actually shows, and what we're doing there is we are just changing how opaque it is. That's what opacity means. Basically how much of it shows through. So let's go ahead and just hit cancel. Let's go to our red layer, bring our red layer up, and again all we will do here on our red layer is go ahead and highlight it, and then we'll go down to our properties, and we will, oops, I duplicated it, my bad. Kill the one that we duplicated. Let's go back down here, we'll hit our layer properties, and again we've got this slider to adjust the opacity of the layer. So that's basically what layers allow us to do. Once we have the ability to put layers down in into our avatar, we can do things like add text and then move it around later. So let's go ahead and kill this little image that we were working on here. Okay, and it's asking us if we'd like to save our triangle, square, circle. We will not save it. What we will do, however, is go back to our original thing, and as you saw, when we pasted this into our program under Edit, we went ahead and pasted in as a new layer. We pasted it in as a layer, so what we did was create this layer here against a black background. Now what we can do here again, just like we did before, is bring up our properties, adjust our opacity level, and there we have it. Okay. Let's take one more step at this point. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead into our web browser, and here is the gallery of the images that I put together, and let's just grab one of these images. So again, we'll click on it, and what we will do is we will hit the copy image, and then we'll paste this as a new layer into here under Edit. Paste in this new layer. And again, it's asking us if we want to expand our canvas or keep our canvas size. We will keep our canvas size. And with our little icons here, we will try to bring our model down in here and bring it in. Okay. The last thing I'm going to show you about layers is, let's go down to the background layer. Okay. With our background layer, let's select our paint bucket icon and set our primary color for light gray. And let's flood it. Then we'll go back to our texture layer and let's fade it a lot more. Okay, so we can do that right there. Alright. So that is our number 2 step. Now at this point we've got a 3-layered image. We've got our model picture. Okay. We've got our background image. Okay. And then we've got our black background layer. Okay. And we can go ahead with this black background layer, like I say. We can actually go ahead and make little edits whenever we want on these things. And there we have it. Let's go ahead and just take our break at this point.